Insider token allocation. This is where it's got really interesting. These tokenomics, they don't make sense. These tokenomics are among the worst I've come across. And I think that's the first project I actually allocated zero. Okay, zero. For the short period I've been applying this, that's unheard of. Even for some of the extremely risky projects I've looked at. Your tokenomics sucks. If you are a retail investor, please do your own research. You got to read some of the information I'm sharing with you here, guys, today is there for you to expand on your own research. I've got a big question mark. Do you think my analysis of Moonbeam is fair? It's a fair reflection of what Moonbeam is. I just wonder if the numbers, tokenomics made sense and they were reasonable, where would Moonbeam be? Maximum tokens available, a hard cap, where would Moonbeam be? That is something for community and the project team to work out. I'm sure this will not remain as it is because as things are, I think this is the worst tokenomics I've come across for something with blue chip potential. Moonbeam has got potential to become a blue chip, but these numbers, these tokenomics scream greedy. That's my point of view. Hi guys, this is FD475.tv once more, back with another video looking at the sister network of Moonbeam, which is based on the Polkadot network. For those who are joining us for the first time, I'm FD475.tv. My background is from the medical technology space. I do hold a couple of executive roles within the medical technology space. I'm here to try and share my experiences and to see if I can help even a single person educate themselves within the crypto space and learn from some of my mistakes, and then maybe also use some of my methods when I was succeeding or when I'm succeeding. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm always learning from other people as well. If you want to know which people I think I learned a lot from, please go watch my first ever video where I did a shout out to some of the people I was watching when I joined the space. I was watching almost anything until I started realizing I got to be smart, and I started following and watching certain individuals. That list as well is not conclusive. There will be certain people I might have forgotten that I still watch even today, but nowadays I've got very little time to watch other people, and then doing research as well as spending time with family wherever possible. So what is Moonbeam? Moonbeam is a layer 1 with potential. Okay, like I said, it is a sister network to Moonriver, which is based on the Kusama network, a canary network for Polkadot. So the relationship between Moonriver and Moonbeam is as follows. All the new developments take place on Moonriver on the Kusama network. Any of those that will have proven to be successful will then be onboarded onto Moonriver on the Polkadot network. So that's how it works. Okay, we don't have enough time to actually review whether any of the experiments that have been taking place have actually worked. Moonbeam is described as an Ethereum compatible decentralized smart contract platform built on Polkadot, designed for developers. It is being built by PureState, the same company that developed Moonriver on Kusama. It's got tokens at Genesis, 1 billion. It's got a 5% inflation rate with uncapped supply. So you always feel bad when a project doesn't have a hard cap. That is not good for the retail investor. What is Moonbeam's purpose? Moonbeam's purpose is that it's specifically built for developers, because you got developers who are used to, say, Solidity coming over from Ethereum. They can onboard their dApps or projects onto Moonbeam without much fuss, because Moonbeam is compatible with the language that is used within Ethereum. You can also quickly deploy your new or existing Solidity decentralized apps onto the Moonbeam parachain with little or no modifications and gain easy access to the Polkadot network. So again, that is a demonstration of interoperability at work. You can port projects from the Ethereum blockchain onto the Polkadot blockchain via Moonbeam. Bear in mind that Polkadot, we classify it as a layer 0, and Moonbeam is a layer 1, just like Ethereum. That is the potential and the scale of the project. Then we go on to the elements now we are going to be applying to do our risk evaluation on Moonbeam. What are the 13 elements? 13 elements are as follows. We look at decentralization. How decentralized is the network? We then look at security. Has the network suffered any security issues? Has it had an independent audit of its own underlying software or its network by a reputable company? And then we look at scaling. Does the project scale easily, or does it suffer from scaling issues, i.e. symptoms might include transaction fees skyrocketing because there is congestion on the network. And then we look at interoperability. Does the project work across its own boundaries, reaching out to other blockchains, transmitting or exchanging and communicating data with other blockchains, and then using that blockchain for whatever objective they want to, in order to increase value or to move value? What about the project team? Are they available on public platforms? Do they engage with their community using various platforms out there, including plenty of of social media platforms. And then we look at social media via Twitter and social media via Discord. Are they engaging their communities via that and their threshold criteria as well when it comes to the numbers on Twitter as well as Discord? What about the age of the project? How old is the project? Is it a project that has just been launched today, or it was launched last week, last year, last month, 2 years ago, and so forth? We then look at use cases. Does the project have any real world use cases as well as what are classified as infrastructural use cases where other blockchains will come and build on top of it? For example, Ethereum has got use cases in bucket loads. Does Moonbeam have the same structure or infrastructure or capacity to accommodate other projects, i.e. infrastructural use cases? We then look at tokens issued at project launch. How much of the total allocation of the maximum tokens or coins available were issued at project launch? Then we look at total tokens in circulation at the time you're doing an evaluation. What is the percentage? We also have a criteria for that. Then you look at the maximum tokens available. Here you're paying strict attention to whether the project has got a hard cap, the maximum tokens available. And then we look at insider token allocation, those closely linked to the project. How much do they have in terms of holdings of the project tokens or coins? So those are the 13 elements we're going to apply to Moonbeam to see how better it fares against other projects that we are evaluating using the same tool. Let's get started. So how decentralized is Moonbeam? Moonbeam members own about 18% of all GLMR tokens currently available. Okay, I've got a question mark on that because 18% are the tokens that were issued at launch, but we don't know whether some of the 18% actually belong to those closely linked to the project or they are all belong to the community. That information is not readily available. I'm sure there is a way to try and get that information. And out of those 18% that were available at launch, which was approximately 45 million, 30% were vested in launch, which was 45 million as reward for supporting the Moonbeam Network's parachain auction on the Polkadot network. And then we also know that deployment on Polkadot means Moonbeam are trying to benefit from Polkadot's inherent security using its architectural structure, where it has a relay chain that is separate to the transaction layer. And then we look at the element of a parachain where it's launching as a parachain instead of a standalone project, which has helped the project to bootstrap directly into a decentralized security service provided by the relay chain. So it's taking advantage of the availability of a ready-made security infrastructure that the Polkadot relay chain provides. Then we look at adoption of a fully on-chain governance process from the start for all changes to the protocol, including upgrades. Then implementation of a custom parachain staking palettes to enable an open and decentralized set of collators to produce blocks straight off. So this actually pays dividends because the time between a project winning the parachain and launching, other projects, their leases, they are almost expiring and they haven't launched a single project, especially on Kusama where the leases are very short. Some of them haven't even launched anything. They are still in development. So it is with sadness that some of the projects that won parachains, especially on Kusama, because of the shortened lease period, they may not come back because people will have lost faith in them already, because some investors went for those parachains based on hype, not on the actual results, and some of the people will be disappointed by that. And also the element of engaging a broader range of stakeholders as initial token holders in the network, which is via parachains, where people bond their DOT tokens to get the GLMR, which is the ticker for the Moonbeam token. They get rewards for that, for bonding their own DOT, and they become part of the community from the off. On decentralization, we're going to give Moonbeam 5 points out of 10. What about security? Moonbeam benefits from shared security, sometimes referred to in documentation as pooled security, similar to its sister parachain on Kusama, which is one of the unique propositions for Moonbeam. But we also know that Moonbeam has been audited by a company called TechRate. The reliance on their own security audits as well as the security provided by the Polkadot relay chain actually makes the security of Moonbeam a little bit better than that of Moonriver, because Moonriver is all about experimentation. So what do we give Moonriver on security? Okay, so we are going to give Moonriver 7.5 points out of 10, which is 75% of the points available. What about scaling? The basis of the Polkadot infrastructure and architect is around having plenty of parachains communicating. I think they are going for about 100 parachains. So you're talking about, you take for example, you got if you can get 100 Ethereums operating on the Moonbeam network, that's what they're talking about. So there will be a lot of scaling required there. So far we haven't had any issues, or there is no documented issues of Polkadot struggling with transaction because of the few parachains that have been onboarded. Maybe over time it must struggle, but at the moment we haven't heard of that. So in terms of scaling, we think Polkadot, and in this case we think think Moonbeam can scale. To achieve a greater speed on the Polkadot network, the relay chain separates the addition of new transactions from the act of validating those transactions. So the validation of transactions and the execution of the transactions, I think they are done at different levels. So it lifts the weight of, the Moonbeam network. I think that does help the structure, anyway, as far as I can recall. And then you look at Moonbeam transaction speed measured per block. Again, it's similar to what's happening with its sister network on Kusama, i.e. 20.8 seconds per block. I could not find the information on how many transactions are in each block. I suppose they vary depending on what's being transmitted. It is also widely documented that Moonbeam speed, i.e. scaling, can increase, and the team are always tweaking it and increasing it based on saturation levels and so forth. So we think there's plenty of capacity for Moonbeam to scale even further. In terms of scaling, we are going to give Moonbeam 7.5 points out of 10. What about interoperability? This is the ability of the project to reach outside its own boundaries. We know Moonbeam, just like Moonriver, is designed for interoperability, and we know if a project is designed for interoperability, we will give it the maximum points. Here, we may also need to consider that Moonbeam's design principles are compatibility with the Ethereum Vehicle Machine or EVM, and then interoperability as well as decentralization. So for a project that is designed for interoperability, our scale as part of our criteria states that we should give a project maximum points, which is 10 out of 10. What about the project team? Are they publicly available? Yes, they are. I went on LinkedIn and I found reference to 54 employees for Pure Stake, a majority of them based in Thailand. So based on that, we give a project maximum points again, because we say anything above 40, we give it maximum points. So we are going to give Moonbeam project maximum points on the project team. What about social media presence via Twitter? Yes, Moonbeam network has got social presence via Twitter, and at this present moment, they've got over 229,000 Twitter followers, and our criteria states that a project with over 40k followers, we give it 7.5 points out of 10. We don't give maximum because we are still waiting for mass adoption. What about social media via Discord? Yes, Moonbeam has got a Discord community, it's got Discord presence, and it's got over 43,000 community members on Discord, and they seem to be engaging as well. So we are going to give it the same because it's over that 40,000 threshold. We are going to give Moonbeam 7.5 points out of 10. What about the age of the project? Moonbeam is very, very fresh, very new. It won a parachain slot that commenced on the 17th of December 2021 until October 2023. So based on that, we are going to give Moonbeam 2.5 points out of 10. What about use cases? Same with what we did with Moonriver, its sister parachain on Kusama. We split the use cases between the token use cases and the fundamental use cases. First, on the fundamental use cases, we know there is infrastructural use case for Web3 to onboard new users, a complete Ethereum compatible via EVM implementation, a Web3 compatible API and bridges. That's on the fundamental infrastructural use cases as far as I'm concerned. And then you go to the GLMR token use cases. So we've got gas metering, protocol scaling, on-chain governance, and network transactions. There is also easiest path to multi-chain, which is minimal configuration when people are onboarding or migrating their projects onto Moonbeam. So minimal configuration required for those coming from Solidity or with dApps written in Solidity language. Familiar with smart contract languages, tools that developers already know, and pre-built integrations. So it looks like they've removed most of the barriers that might slow onboarding of new projects or migration of new projects from blockchains like Ethereum to make it easier for developers. Hence their claim that the Moonbeam is designed and built for developers. So based on that, we are going to give Moonbeam 7.5 points out of 10, which is 75% of the total points available. What about tokens issued at project launch? This is where it starts getting interesting for Moonbeam. We know Moonbeam minted 1 billion tokens at launch, but they gave 150 million to those who participated within the parachain. And we also know that only 30% of those, which is equivalent to 45 million, vested at project launch, and the rest have got a gradual vesting period. So based on the fact that they had a 30% allocation to those who participated via parachains, i.e. the community, we are going to give Moonbeam 2.5 points out of 10. The reason being the missing hard cap, because that affects everything. What about tokens in circulation? As per coin market cap, which again, strangely enough, they do give different information and data between coin market cap and CoinGecko. CoinGecko is better at other things. I will have to do a deep dive into those two platforms to see who is doing better job, who is giving users better value for their attention, because that's what we give these two platforms, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. So on tokens in circulation, Moonbeam has got 18% in circulation, which is 183.7 million tokens in circulation out of 1 billion currently available, because they don't have a cap, so that maximum available quantity will change over time. So based on that, we are going to give Moonbeam 2.5 points out of 10. Maximum tokens available, they don't have a hard cap, so we give 0. It's simple as that. Okay, brutal, but it's very simple. 0, that's the criteria. What about insider token allocation? This is where it's got really interesting. Okay, these are things that you don't really consider until you start looking at something that is relatively unbiased. There's this DYOR risk evaluation. Guys, these are my own opinions. Please do your own research, and again, don't forget to click like and subscribe, as well as smash that notification bell. So Moonbeam tokens in the hands of insiders. Here it got very interesting. I looked at the vesting charts and the token allocation, and I came up with 66.6% in the hands or under the control of those closely linked to the project, which is equivalent to 666 million Glimmer tokens controlled by inside. Now that is quite disturbing. To an extent, you can turn on and say maybe due to the success of Moonriver, Moonbeam took advantage of the faith people placed in them, because they were the first parachain to win a slot, because people thought it was going to jump out of the blocks like Moonriver did, because Moonriver did quite well when it launched. People just jumped into it. I know there were other people screaming, no, don't do it, it's not worth it, and so forth, right at the beginning when the parachain started. Now you can understand why those people were saying that, because looking at 66.6% under the control of those closely linked to the project is quite disturbing. And then on top of that, you've got no hard cap, 66.6% in the hands or under the control of those closely linked to the project. That is a recipe for disaster, especially for the retail investor. So if you were to invest in Moonbeam, my own opinion is Moonbeam is not a project you invest in if the price is on the rise. That's my own opinion. Why am I saying that? Because those 66.6% or 660 million tokens and no hard cap, so more are still being printed, because the treasury is still getting 20% of the transaction fees, with 80% being banned. It's almost like there is a never-ending supply. I don't know why I call that greedy. I think you guys at Moonbeam, these tokenomics, they don't make sense. These tokenomics are among the worst I've come across. And I think that's the first project I actually allocated 0. Okay, 0. For the short period I've been applying this, that's unheard of. Even for some of the extremely risky projects I've looked at. Your tokenomics sucks. If you are a retail investor, please do your own research. You got to read some of the information I'm sharing with you here, guys, today is there for you to expand on your own research. Okay, don't take it as financial advice, because I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. But the tokenomics of Moonbeam suck. Okay, 66.6%. Okay, people will turn around and say, oh, the foundation, keeping those in custody on behalf of the community and so forth. That's what everyone will say. We'll wait and see. But 66% or over 66% in the hands or under the control of those closely linked to the project. That I've got a big question mark. Okay, I had positions because I participated in the crowd loan, and when the tokens were released, and I took my share, and then when they started trading, I exited initially from 50% of my positions, and I left the other 50%. And then I exited that 50%. I think it was around the $8 to $10 mark. And thank God I did that, because with where we are, I'll probably have been licking my wounds, because that small percentage that I exited from, because it was it's 30% of what was vested at product launch. So that small percentage is actually allowed me to go back in, because I jumped back in during this latest downturn. Having looked at these figures, I still thought, okay, let's see where this is going. You never know. I was there already, and these are rewards from me bonding my DOT tokens. So I plowed the same amount in, and I ended up with about almost 400% of what I had before. So that was, from my part, I think that was a good move, because I exited at a relatively higher. That's what you're supposed to do, okay? It's all about accumulating more if you are exiting a position. So I took advantage of that, and I was paying attention to the Flight, it was called Flight something, Flight Investors and so forth. I was paying attention to that, and before theirs vested, because they vested, I think it was a month after us general investors vested, because I was vested at project launch. Before theirs got vested, I exited majority of my what was remaining of my positions, and I then managed to jump in following this recent dump that the cryptocurrency market has seen, including traditional markets as well. So getting in and accumulating 300 to 400% of your original position, I'm talking of the stablecoin value, end up accumulating between 300 to 400%. So I multiplied my position almost four times without doing much. Okay, I just exited and then I went back in and it worked. It's not something that I will urge anyone to do, but for me, I thought it was the best thing to do because it just launched and there was a tranche of more vesting, more token being released onto the market. I thought, okay, I'll take my equity up. Then when the price, it was a combination of that plus what has been happening, geopolitics and so forth, I went back in and I managed to increase my position 3 to 4-fold, which is always great. Anyway, guys, what do you think? Do you think my analysis of Moonbeam is fair? It's a fair reflection of what Moonbeam is. Okay, so here is a quick rundown of the results of our DYOR Moonbeam risk evaluation analysis, looking at the 13 elements. So on decentralization, we gave Moonbeam 5 points out of 10, which is 50% of the points available. On security, we gave Moonbeam 7.5 points out of 10. On scaling, we gave Moonbeam 7.5 points out of 10. On interoperability, we gave Moonbeam 10 out of 10. On project team, we gave Moonbeam 10 points out of 10. On social media via Twitter, we gave Moonbeam 7.5 points out of 10. On social media via Discord, we gave Moonbeam 7.5 points out of 10. On age of the project, we gave Moonbeam 2.5 points out of 10. On use cases, we gave Moonbeam 7.5 points out of 10. On tokens issued at project launch, we gave Moonbeam 2.5 points out of 10. On tokens in circulation at the time of doing this evaluation, we gave Moonbeam 2.5 points out of 10. On maximum tokens available, we gave Moonbeam 0. On insider token allocation, we gave Moonbeam 0. So on those two elements, we said maximum tokens available, they don't have a hard cap. So anything without a hard cap, 0. Insider token allocation, it's 66.6% holdings under the control, not owned, under the control of insiders, i.e. those closely linked with the project. So we gave it 0. So on that bombshell, the grand total is 70 out of 130. Our scale works as follows. 0 to 64 out of 130, it's a no-go. If you do invest, you're most likely going to lose your money. Then between 65 to 89 out of 130, it could go to 0, but most projects will go to 0, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and the rest. 90 to 109 out of 130, that means the project has got potential and the risk has been massively reduced from the risk associated with the two lower levels. And then you got the one that we're all striving for, which is 110 to 130 out of 130, which is go for it because the risk is very minimal. Moonbeam joins those within the it could go to 0 category at 70. I just wonder if the numbers, tokenomics made sense and they were reasonable, where would Moonbeam be? Maximum tokens available, a hard cap, where would Moonbeam be? That is something for community and the project team to work out. I'm sure this will not remain as it is because as things are, I think this is the worst tokenomics I've come across for something with blue chip potential. Moonbeam has got potential to become a blue chip, but these numbers, these tokenomics scream greedy. That's my point of view. That was FD for Stage 5, guys. Thank you very much for taking time to watch my video. Until next time, thank you. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe as well as smash that notification bell. Whilst you're at it as well, I would like to know, are you invested in Moonbeam? When did you jump in? Did you jump in during the recent crash, or you came in from the tech flight investor badge, or you were there as participant within the parachain loan auctions? Did you jump out like I did? Did you jump back in? Are you going to invest more? Has this video changed your intentions, your plans, your strategies at all? Let me know down below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe as well as smash that notification bell. Until next time, guys, this is FD for Sage5.tv signing off. Bye.